In this video, I want to talk a moment about the cryptocurrency and digital asset space, and I wanted to share my experience over the last couple of years about more day-to-day matters and use it to highlight some tips that I've learned along the way. It's been a little frustrating at times, and this is not to bring focus to the rough edges, but just to share what you might encounter. Now, the space has definitely got more mature in 2020, and it's getting better rapidly. For lots of reasons, I think 2021 will be the year of mass adoption for these technologies. The first step for a lot of people is probably Coinbase, at least in the US. I didn't know this at the time, but Coinbase and I think Binance US are some of the only exchanges that I've seen that let you use Plaid with a routing and an account number for ACH. The reason I insisted on using a routing and account number is a story for another video. It should pop up in the card above. Now, before we get started, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies that I'm going to mention in the video, and none of this should be construed as financial advice. I use Fidelity pretty much for everything, except some local accounts. I've been with them for almost 20 years. I used Coinbase linked to this Fidelity account for quite a while, and during that time, I signed up for the crypto.com card, and I was looking for a prepaid card to start using to manage my spending budget, and it seems like a pretty good deal, especially if you're into crypto. They offer some pretty generous coin back deals. One of the things I really liked about the crypto.com card is you actually get a real bank account with a real routing and account number. So you can move money into it and out of it, and you can direct deposit your paycheck there. And so I tried to link my Fidelity account and they wouldn't allow it because they have certain documentation requirements to link an ACH account. They want your statement and stuff like that. And Crypto.com actually tried to supply me with a letter, but Fidelity wouldn't accept it. So exchanges and how they interact with legacy financial institutions are not standardized to any great extent. You'll notice through this video that I've wound up with a patchwork of rails for how to fund and move money around these accounts for different reasons. Most of the fintech banks actually just use a bank called Metropolitan Commercial Bank. Both Crypto.com and Revolut do. Yet I can't add my Crypto.com account as a linked account in the app, even though the accounts share the same routing number. Just be prepared. Most exchanges support purchasing crypto with a debit or credit card, but I own 4 of the major credit cards and none of them would allow me to buy crypto. This is pretty standard, and there are lots of reasons for this, some legit and some just banks feeling their obsolescence. Sort of in the middle of all this, I started getting worried after reading and hearing where people's banks would freeze their accounts for just trying to move money to the crypto exchanges or buy crypto in general on their cards or through ACH. So I started doing research on crypto-friendly banks. There are also several lists out there on the web you can find about which banks are crypto-friendly. And one that kept popping up was Revolut. Revolut's a fintech challenger bank from the UK that started doing business here and offers some interesting services like crypto. So I got a Revolut account, which to date has not been so impressive with the US offerings. Spoiler, they don't offer the cool stuff that they offer in the UK. And since they do crypto, they wouldn't mind my Coinbase ACH purchases, right? Nope. They bounced a transfer and Coinbase locked my account for almost 4 weeks because that looked like suspicious activity. That story gets us to our next 2 points. Point number 3, don't on-ramp to exchanges with bank accounts you transact your life out of. If you get your grocery and bill pay account locked because you're dabbling around with crypto, you're going to be in the doghouse, guaranteed. And because banks technically view this as fraudulent activity, you may be frozen for an extended period. Open a separate account with your name only and move blocks of money into there. I'll explain what I did later in the video. Point number 4, don't rely on one exchange the way you do with traditional investing. You need accounts with multiple exchanges ready to move money into them, or you might find yourself locked out of a buying opportunity. To be fair, the Revolut customer service did tell me to add my Coinbase account as an outgoing account, and it would be fine. But with many exchanges, you can't do that. With Coinbase, you don't have a real account to add. In other words, it's ACH withdrawal only. That means that Coinbase Fiat is not a legally protected FDIC account assigned to you. Not that money in your regular account really belongs to you anyway. I won't go over that here, but that brings us to our next point. Don't leave substantial assets on exchanges. This includes your crypto. Many exchanges like Gemini and Coinbase offer purchase with ACH, which withdraws the purchase amount from your bank. This ensures that you don't have to front load a bunch of fiat to purchase crypto. The downside to this is because of the way the ACH works legally, you may have a substantial holding period for which the exchange has to hold your crypto before you can move it out of your exchange wallet into cold storage. It can range from days to substantially longer depending on the exchange. Also, it's worth noting that some coins and services require you to allow the service to hold your crypto, such as Celsius and Crypto.com's Earn feature. I've used both of these services for a while without a hitch. Just a reminder, the often repeated mantra, not your keys, not your crypto. Unlike the traditional banking investment world, if you don't control those private keys, you don't actually own the asset. So do your research. This brings us to the next point. Educate yourself on what cold and hot storage are. I've included some links in the description to some videos of other channels which do a fantastic job explaining the basics here. I don't have any affiliation with these channels and they don't know me. They're just really high quality videos. At this point, I was getting a little discouraged. Fidelity actually uses OAuth delegation to check wallet balances at Coinbase.com on your home screen, which is sort of cool. So I called Fidelity and just told them what I was worried about and asked if it was a problem since they operate with Coinbase. And he basically told me it wasn't a problem and they did have a relationship with Coinbase. So their view on it is it's a service that Fidelity doesn't provide their customers, so they don't care if you go elsewhere. So I continue to use Coinbase, but those fees are terrible. So I started looking again and opened up accounts with Gemini, Kraken, and eToro. eToro let me sign up and enter all my KYC information, and then let me know that their service wasn't available in my state. Thanks a lot. So you're not going to get much help from regulators or legislators in the US. Expect much resistance and feet dragging if you live here. The US has one of the worst records for crypto legislation and regulation of anywhere that actually doesn't actively ban crypto. To make matters worse, the incumbent banks clearly have this nice legislative moat around them. Another example of this is Celsius. I can't get rewards paid in Celsius because of the state I live in. Kraken uses a third-party custodian named Etana. So I did my KYC, which you'll have to do with most legit exchanges so that the government can track you and make sure you don't launder or commit fraud with thousands of dollars. After filling out KYC once, they sent me an email stating I need to do it again because they were upgrading their system. Then, after all that, they claimed they couldn't work with my Fidelity account and needed a traditional checking account. This, along with my desire to start using Plaid's third-party login to connect my accounts instead of account numbers, led me to start to look for yet another traditional bank that wouldn't ding me for money laundering. I called a couple, for instance SmartBank, and told them exactly what I was up to. And the branch manager told me straight up that those transactions would be marked as fraud and disallowed. Other banks had no clue what cryptocurrency was, and none of them had any official statement on the matter. So, another point, try to ask your bank how they will handle this or find a statement on their website. Some will actually say, but it's rare. So after some more research, I landed on Ally. I read they were crypto friendly, especially with Coinbase and some others, and so I set up an account. I contacted Etana, and here's what happened. Months ago, my onboarding process was halted because you guys would not work with my Fidelity checking account for whatever reason. I have an Ally Bank checking account, and I just opened it specifically for a crypto on-ramp. I opened it on 9/11, so no official statement yet. What I have is attached. Will this work? And what else do you need? And they wrote back. Firstly, we have recently updated our policies regarding eligible funding accounts. Looking through our prior communications with you, it appears you have stated your Fidelity account is a real cash management and checking account that happens to be at Fidelity. We apologize for any inconvenience this previously caused, but we would be able to work with that type of account. It appears you originally started your application on our legacy platform. Since we have since migrated to our new technology stack, we would request that you complete the onboarding on the new platform, so please head over to crmitana.com and complete the application. If you let us know once you've uploaded your items, we will review ASAP. Thank you. So there we are on that. They pulled out the "it was a legacy system" excuse again. This was actually only a few weeks ago, and their website to move money is pretty terrible, actually. So my Fidelity account got linked, but I haven't used it yet, and I might not, since Kraken seems to be on the way to getting its actual license to be a bank in the United States. I could literally go on all day like this about platform bugs, app bugs, and just all around bad experience or customer service. That would be boring. And this video is getting long. I would suggest sticking with the mainstream at first. There's a reason Coinbase was so popular. It's very easy to use, and I've been enjoying Gemini just as well. The best customer service experience has to go to crypto.com though. I've had a few interactions with them, and they are always really nice to deal with. It's a bummer they charge you a fee to pull coins off their platform, but I still use them too. One last tip of sorts is related to this. Be careful about YouTube personalities hyping one platform or another, especially if it's a new platform. Some of the YouTubers I really like are brazen promoters, and I've signed up for stuff that was not a great experience because of their recommendation. It's sort of unfortunate, but I guess this sort of product placement is just a fact of life on YouTube. When these crypto channels get a large following, I just wish they would announce their affiliations. This is especially true for crypto asset predictions and channels which heavily promote one asset over others. Well, that's about it, and thanks for sticking around for the end. I hope this has been helpful to someone, and feel free to drop a question below, and I'll see you guys later.